Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to the living world of darkness, Rage Across New York. We are setting this scene on the Sept of the Green, predictably enough, because it's kind of hard to set it anywhere else when you're a walking veil breach. And in particular, in today's scene, we will be setting it at the Cairn Heart itself, where Tenpoint has come to pay her respects to Lurian's side for the moment, because it's just weird to pray to a spirit who's sitting there looking at you. It really is. So it's just a lot easier to keep the general mentality of offering a prayer and offering respects when Tellurian's side. So she has settled on her knees in front of the shrine to Great White Mouse and has a set of prayer beads, which I shall illustrate thusly. It's a very slow thusly. Do do do. Thusly. Set of just wooden prayer beads that she's got clasped in her fingers, and with her eyes shut and her face turned towards the shrine, is just kind of flicking bead after bead through her fingers as she mumbles barely audible little prayers of thanks, of desires for forgiveness, of reverence, etc., for the Septotem.
Yeah, almost like conveniently accidental. Platine is walking up to the same shrine, coming from the cub cabins. That actually kind of like has been decided is no longer a cub cabin. It's just going to be their cabin now because, for fuck's sake, they can't find another place. And she has her hands kind of like in her hand. She's like cupping a handful of like nuts and seeds and everything. Her webbed fingers are really useful in this. She can carry more. And she'll go up to the shrine. Notice this other person sitting there. Hasn't seen her yet, but oh well. She seems to be busy. And she will walk up to the shrine and dispose the seeds and the nuts on like a big. Actually, she's probably gonna like dig a little hole in it so that they won't actually run away when she scatters them there. And yeah, probably is, but there might be indeed like a dish, but yeah, getting them like just on the ground, it feels more natural. So she'll in a Nuktatuk will offer the nuts to the mice and the rat on Sapt, and as well says, probably not as lengthy as the other theurge, will make her own prayer, saying something like, "Please accept these offerings as and yeah, enjoy." It's like really simple. Um, she looks aside, kind of curiously, notices the um, antlers. And it's like starting to dawn on her that she's heard mention of someone. So she'll take a little bit of distance to just simply respect the other theurge's time that they need or that she needs, and we'll wait until 10 point is done.
I will say that she's coming in towards the end of this long series of prayers. It's very reminiscent of kind of a Catholic thing, complete with the prayer beads. She does, though, have a couple minutes to get a good look at her, and there's no like heavy pure breed, but it's pretty. I like to think she's a very classical Fianna, so it's not too hard to determine. There are bells tied to her antlers that for the moment, aren't setting up any noise because she's not really moving per se. She's got a bag, probably recognizable, honestly, as a variant of a magpie swag, and just a number of little odds and ends. Her clothes in general are kind of uh, ratty, might be putting it a bit harshly, but they're definitely more weathered looking and layered, as though they're probably a combination of cast-offs.
Yeah, as Statine notices the bells, she remembers the remark that Hayden made, and she will make sure to keep her distance. Just kind of studying it, frowning.
Then yeah, after a couple minutes, she'll flick her eyes open and bow her head slightly, bringing the prayer beads up to touch them to her brow, and then just kind of autopilot style shift to just stuff them into the swag. And she'll blink first to the offering that was put there, because it's not like she's deaf while she's praying. She heard something happening, and she'll kind of glance to it, file away if there's any particular combination of nuts or grains or whatever that seem to be favorable, and then finally glance aside to Talate herself.
She stands there leaning against a tree. Can also like probably immediately see the fact first that she's missing an eye, and probably after that she's missing an ear as well, both on the left side. And yeah, she has, like, you can see scales. If you would watch her very closely, you could probably see like the gills behind her ears and the webbed fingers.
I will say that at least for the moment, she probably doesn't see the gills, just because she's not going to study, especially around the face, that closely. She will, kind of how most Guru very habitually will look towards someone's brow or someone's chin to avoid looking directly in the eyes. She seems to kind of avoid the face in general. Though after a glance, and remind me, does she have pure breed?
Yeah.
Okay, so after
not a whole lot, but she has pure breed.
just enough to be the tip off. So after a glance, she'll offer kind of a bow of her head that sets the little bells chiming and says, "Good day, Yuff."
Good day.
I
girl.
am called 10-Point Metasporn Theurge of the Fianna and Cleath to the nation.
I am Platane, also known as Final Right. I am a Theurge born from the Wendigo tribe. Also Metis. And Cleath.
I have heard many good things about you, Final Right, Yuff.
I have heard very little of you, but you are new.
And she'll, again, kind of nod lightly. The jingle isn't, like, loud, it's not jarring, it's just every time she moves her head, there's just a soft chiming. I had been advised to seek you out to perhaps aid in the offense that was given to the Sept Totem.
Seek me out. Right. She looks a little confused at that. I am sure there are more in these Seps who know more of what has happened, but I can give you a rundown if you wish.
I have a general idea, but I had heard that you had been the one to address the totem. So it seems fitting that I ask if there is anything you would advise me to do to help in regaining the spirit's favor.
Spirit, Great White Mouse, she is withholding her favor until the Father Doxes have addressed the matter and have agreed on the right punishments to Radiant Spear.
Mitchell,
Calls Raya has made an offering of shelter and protection. And I think we could help to add to that. As for the Theurges, it's most important that we make sure that everybody who is not yet familiar with the bands of the Sept Totems, that they will gain knowledge of such. That's our task. We failed as teachers.
and she'll, again, it's a light nod of understanding. A sensible course of action, then. Though she will, Talante will note that as Radiant Spear is mentioned by name, that she kind of purses her lips in a kind of stiff fashion, just because it's too flattering a name for someone who has made such a grave mistake. But there's definitely
Yeah,
that kind of disapproving little purse of the lips that she'll pick up.
that's probably on Platine's face as well. I'm not gonna lie. Like, she does not approve of his actions. She doesn't even want to speak his name. So it kind of came out as if she was addressing something very filthy. Other than that, I think offerings and prayers and the usual, helping to clean the shrine in a proper manner would suffice. Great Red Mouse wasn't. She's mostly scared and sad, not well, she was angry, but
And this is, in particular, the point
malice?
where 10 Point will be paying very keen attention, because the mood of it is so important and no one's been able to give her but so much information.
And Platine is looking for the right words. She's not. Mm, Malice? Something with. He looks very frustrated. Like, then words in Inuktitut just kind of flesh out that, but then your language.
So she is more hurt by the action than she is angry.
Yes.
This is good to know, and not many have been able to enlighten me. Thank you, yes.
You're welcome. However, she does hold the entire sept responsible for what happens. Everybody has a role to play in turnout of these events.
Of course, my beta has already spoken to Jacob Crossraya to play his part, and I will ensure that my alpha knows the details of what has taken place and perhaps how to contribute.
Yes, you're part of that new pack, right?
Yes.
And she? Is
Banshee, yes, is my alpha.
yes. I have met her once. That was in the Amazon.
And she will offer a very faint nod and kind of a thoughtful tilt of head. At the risk of being very forward, I hope that however you were addressed was a fashion in which you were familiar. It seems that many of the people here are not aware of more traditional behaviors.
I met her. There were no introductions. There was no addressing. As
Ah,
and Latvian seems to be perfectly fine with that. She doesn't seem to be phased with that at all. She doesn't seems to be like mad or anything. It's just like, yeah, I mean, you wouldn't notice air, right? Like that's the kind of attitude that she has.
yeah, that little is kind of like the of course, like it's not a reserved little thing, it's not awkward, it's just like, oh yeah. Of course that's how it went.
Yeah.
I believe yesterday that I may have met your sister?
Tapisa.
Yes.
She's the alpha of my pack.
Ah.
And she's my half sister, yes.
And there's a brief purse of lips as if she's trying to decide, and she'll finally flick a glance towards like actually up to Tlate's face to see if there's any like really blatant um expression of annoyance over it being mentioned or any awkwardness or anything like that, or if it's just a flat statement.
It's flat statement. Latin is rather matter of fact. So
She is. Well, so without any particular cue to make her doubt her her statement, she'll nod, look thoughtful for about half a second before dismissing it as none of her goddamn business, and look back again. Are there any others of your pack? I am still learning names, faces, packs, families.
my pack is called the Children of the Spirit Wilds. There are 3 of us. Tapisa, also known as Painful Truth. She is Wendigo Galliard Homid, is our alpha. And there is William White, Homid Rune of the Children of Gaia. And there is me. And what was she gonna say this? She actually looks a little hesitant and awkward as she says this. I'm our pack's beta. It almost comes out like shameful a little. Like what the fuck?
Oh, don't worry. 10 Point is appropriately shocked. Her she doesn't like make any really dramatic faces, but her eyebrows kind of shoot up a bit.
Zlatahin is just looking at the ground as she says that. And from her stance, you can just tell that this feels very uncomfortable for her saying this.
In a weird way, 10 Point is very sympathetic to the fact that, wow, that's just weird and awkward. And so she will actually probably do much the same and kind of look down, kind of searching for a nice, healthy change of subject.
There are the crickets just chirping as the two of them are like,
like, they both kind of glance down, and 10 Point will just kind of abruptly decide to repay the favor by doing much the same. My alpha is Banshee Raya. She is Hamid Galliard of the Fianna and Cleath. My beta, Predators. Oh my god, I lost it. Predators Focus. There you go. Sorry. That was me out of game, just straight losing my shit for half a second. My beta, Predators Focus, is also Hamid Philodox of the Silver Fangs. Also a Cleath. And I am Omega to my pack.
Kathleen will not, because that feels like way more like the right thing to say for a menace. So 3 as well.
Yes.
May I ask, what totem do you follow?
We are in the midst of preparing ourselves for our totem. We know for whom we seek favor, but this totem will favor knowledge, which I presume is why my alpha saw fit to come first to the Amazon and then here in search of knowledge. This sept has been a very notable one in the nation of late.
Look, with that, she actually raises 2 eyebrows because she didn't expect that. And she'll nod. Yes, we are in the midst of we are organizing our own request and search for our totem as well. We also favor a totem of wisdom.
And so she'll give the slightest little smile. It's kind of just a little turn up at the corner of her lips. Then I wish you luck in finding the favor of your totem.
As to you, I hope you can please the one that you're looking for.
And that'll again be kind of a brief, awkward silence.
I love these awkward silences between the two of them.
that thing where they're both like pointedly not looking at each other, just looking over here, looking over there, trying to think of something else to bring up.
So, do you know of the other 2 packs that are part of the sept? The Shadowrunners and the Striders of Ice and Concrete?
And this time she'll give a brisk little head shake, bringing up an even merrier, cheerful little jingle jangle as she does so. No, I have not been acquainted.
The Shadowrunners pack is small. They're being led by Teresa Raya, a rune foster of the Glasswalkers.
What was it? Public Enemy Raya?
Yes.
Yes.
I know that to her pack belongs, and I'm gonna make a subterfuge roll to keep a straight face.
I'm gonna roll against this because this is worth it. It's not a good roll, but I could try. Gosh darn it! Aw, not nearly enough.
So, yeah,
Worth a shot.
She keeps a straight face. She says, I know that to that pack belongs Kumbhakarna, a Homid theurge of the Bonar tribe, Cleath. And I know there is at least one who is petitioning for that back, although I am not sure whether they would accept him after what he did.
Ah,
The other pack is the oldest pack that remains unserved, Striders of Ice and Concrete. They are led by, and I'm going to make a subterfuge roll again to make sure that she keeps a straight face. That's only 2 successes.
I mean, I might be able. Let's. I've got enough dice to try. Gosh darn it! But to the defender go the spoils.
They're led by Eric Raya, who holds many deed names in a rune of Get of Fenris, and oh god, I always forget how the character work comes first.
Hamid.
Adrian?
Oh, I think
Adrian
it's
or
yeah.
Adrian?
Adrian is first.
Yeah, well, an Adrian. To that pack, the beta is Chloe, who is a Galliard of Homid descent and from the Black Fury tribe. And to that pack is also Jacob Raya, whom you've met.
Ah,
Kailani, who is a Lupus Stargazer Galliard. Please don't let me forget anyone. I think that's it, right?
it's hard to remember. They kind of come and go.
Yeah! They come to pass! I think that's it, yeah. She's like thinking for it a bit and it's like, yeah, that's their pack right now. They're small, but they used to be bigger. There are a lot of Garu sept that haven't committed to a pack yet.
I wondered. I was about to ask, as I have met several that were not mentioned in any of those.
Yes. There are 3 of your tribe. Let's go with a subterfuge again for this, because fuck it, why not?
I
You don't know.
don't know shit.
There are 3 of your tribe that have not found themselves a pack yet, although one of those has decided to leave her pack when the pack decided to leave New York. Alana, Raya, Circe, and Aiden.
Huh.
Alana used to be in a pack, but that pack left, and she decided to stay here.
Really?
Yes.
She has a kind of a puzzled look about her.
Yeah, Tlatahine. He's mostly just trying to be, at least trying to come across as objective as possible.
She's doing a good job with all those fucking boss rolls.
I
Jesus.
know, right? There is Felix, who is a Glasswalker Theurge, also Hamid, who has not committed himself yet. I believe I've heard word of a Lupus Bonar Ragabash who's not yet, well, who's just new. And there is the Wormfoe, Garrett Raya, Shadow Lords, also Ragabash, Hamid, and he. I've heard that he used to have a pack. And calls Raya, who calls the Fury Raya, Lupus, Galliard, Black Fury. Her most of her pack died recently. That one I am definitely gonna subterfuge. Because that was a good story there. Ah, it's only 2 successes. God damn it.
Haha! I got one.
Okay, you'll see a hint of sadness there. She is kind of like pulling the webbings in between her fingers, scratching away some of the dead skin that comes off of it.
And she won't comment on that obvious, that little hint of empathy for the pack in particular. Though she does look somewhat sympathetic herself. The loss of a pack, regardless of whether you knew them or not, is still tragic for any guru. So she'll definitely look somewhat sympathetic. I met Calls the Fury Raya very briefly.
Platine will nod. She is very experienced when it comes to everything that happens in the sept.
She seemed very even-tempered, and I admire her strength and that the loss does not show.
Yes. As do I.
I've been told to seek you out. Of course, I need to seek the Keeper once he has healed, I hear.
Mm-hmm. Yes, the Keeper of the Land has been attacked by Great White Mouse. This is how we realized that something was wrong. He is a Fianna.
And she gives a little nod, but has that kind of distracted look. There'll be a brief press of the lips, uh, giving the impression that, oh, she's heard. Oh boy.
Yeah, she just kind of lets that hang in the air for a moment. And she says the Right Master is a Lupus Bonar. I have briefly seen the other officials of Sept, but I don't have a great many dealings with them, so information could probably be better obtained through others. The Right Master we, as Theurge, speak regularly, and I would suggest you can find him in the northern woods. I would suggest to make your acquaintance. He likes riddles, and he does tests to, I think, to strengthen us as training.
It sounds sensible enough. There are many spirits that favor riddles.
Yes.
And I hear that Chimera is the other totem.
Yes.
And certainly favors riddles.
He does. But I would suggest to make your acquaintance with the Right Master. He is interesting.
I have not looked into finding him just yet, but I certainly mean to. I hope that he does not think me impolite.
He is a lupus. They have different standards than the Homits.
I shall nod ready agreement to that.
He has a den in the northern woods. You can probably track him down if you try to smell socks.
And there's that kind of expression where it's like, what the? Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense.
And I need to retcon. I need to retcon something because I said Bonar. Why the fuck did I say Bonar? He's a silent strider. Brain fart.
Oh, okay. Well,
Sorry. Sorry.
why
Rob.
are you trying to lead me astray here, buddy?
Yeah.
Well, then the socks thing makes less sense.
It does. It does. But that's how Latin found him first.
Well, okay.
He also, you can recognize him if you see him because he has many things hanging around him. Objects. Beads, bottle caps, things like that.
All right, now she really is looking perplexed because between the whole socks thing and all the like bottle caps and shit, she's just kind of going, "Buh."
I know, right?
I suppose if he likes riddles, being misleading makes a certain amount of sense.
She just nods. He is a very interesting individual.
I shall make a more concerted effort to find him.
Yes.
And finally, she'll start to kind of get herself up. She's not like in any hurry. She's not suddenly surging to her feet. She just kind of eases on up, dusts off her knees, and then will turn and bow her head in not a reverent fashion, but just kind of a respectful peer-to-peer fashion. Thank you, Yef.
Latin will follow all the movements because you never know. You never know.
You never do. It's true.
Since she's not like actually threatening or anything, Latin will remain her position as it is. Will return a nod. Good luck to you and your pack, and if you need help with any sept-related activities, we usually find ourselves. We make our home at the cabins over there. She points into the direction of the cub cabins.
And let me tell you out of play how much I appreciate that you weren't like the cub cabins that you have no idea where they are.
Oh, exactly. I was about to say that. I was like, wait, you don't know them.
She'll follow the line of the point briefly to kind of orient it in her head, and then turn back and not offer kind of just the beginnings of a soft grin, not still not anything as open and easygoing as much of the Sept seems to be. It's still a very reserved expression, but she's obviously making an attempt to do more than the tiniest little signs, at least. I will make sure to take you up on it. It's a boon to have someone from the area to consult.
I am not really from this area, but I've been here longer than you have, so. Also, if you head into the city, you may have seen. Are you familiar with the rock in the park here?
The Rock?
It's a place, it's a big rock. It's where the wormfo is. He has a board put up. Anything that's important to know is on that board. Also, if you head into the city, you can find some notes on his board about bane increased activity and about symbols, worm tainted symbols. Don't go near them, they will lead you into Malpheus. They're dangerous.
Again, it's a very attentive nod. Thank you. I remember when we were shown about being shown the rock, but I had not heard of the board before.
And nothing will nod. Also, your tribe likes to drink, right? Alcohol.
Most of them, yes.
And you don't need to peony that. She doesn't hide her disgust over that. There is a certain branch of beer that hails from a place called King's Brewery. Don't drink that. It's worm tainted.
Thank you, Yef.
Again, the nod. As 10 Point has attempted to smile a couple of times, you notice that Platahine has not even once, like, lifted the corner of her mouth. She just has a complete, like, stone-faced look.
Fair enough. Then perhaps I should first visit this board and then revisit the North Woods to see if I can seek out the Master of the Right.
I can take you there to the board. It's close to where we stay, if you want to.
I would appreciate it.
Okay. And yeah, Tlatine will lead 10 Point, making sure there are like at least 2 paces of distance between the two of them at any time.
Yeah, she will actually note that as she turns to go, and I mean, of all things, is willing to put her back to her. 10 Point will actually wait for her to get several strides ahead before starting to move.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she knows how paranoid she would be if it was reversed, so
Yeah.
she will respect that by giving this kind of distance that she would appreciate, where it's like she would have to take a running stride or two to get to Talate with any speed, so
Yeah.
she
And
just kind of trails behind.
Tlatine will walk back towards the cub cabins and at some point just points to like her right, and it's like, if you go down that path, you probably might already see the rock like there.
Ah, yes.
You can't miss the board. It's very white.
And so she will, again, just kind of politely nod and turn to go that way.
Tlatine will continue to go to the former female cub cabin that now also holds a will.
And so with that, I think we can say thank you, players, for playing and watchers for watching, and we will see you next time in another fabulous episode of Awkward Metis, the awkwardening